Typhoon brought these two together. You're listening to the Bearded Theologians Beardcast, hosted by Zach Bechtold and Matt Franks. If you'd like to find out more about these Bearded Theologians, you can go online at beardedtheologians.com. All right, so we're live. This is the Bearded Theologians Google Hangout session of our video cast, Beardcast, whatever you want to call it, cast. Our sponsor, non-sponsor today is Cokesbury. Thank you, Cokesbury, for sponsoring, not sponsoring us. We are trying to figure out what we're going to do today. A little bit kind of slow today. Zach is on location, and I'll let him introduce himself in just a second. And I've got a nice busy day full of all sorts of fun things to do. And so we'll just kind of figure out where we're going to go. And so this is our video cast for this week.
It's really fun. You guys are getting in on, really how the sausage is made. We don't have a plan today, so it'll be fun. Like Frank said, I'm in the great state of Texas in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, just kind of out and about, and getting some rest and seeing some family. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, we're still doing it. Yeah, we're
that's good coffee.
Don't worry, we're in the pre-stage before we started, so I'm not really angry because we're just trying to figure out what we're doing. It's funny.
Frank's has visitors.
Hey, in the one fridge, there's eggs. So. Mm-hmm.
Did you bike today?
No.
Is that a new one?
Yes. I'm gonna fix yours.
That's a girl bike, isn't it?
No.
It's not?
No. All right. Well, I'm gonna get this done. So Zach, what are you preaching on Sunday?
I'm preaching on the book of Jonah. We're going to go through the month of August and do a series on all 4 chapters and kind of how Jonah's story aligns with us and what we can glean from it and that kind of thing. And so this week could be Jonah chapter 1, his call, the beginning of the story and why it's important. Trying to hear our stories and understand why and where we run to when we hear God calling us, and then how he draws us back in.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Matter of fact, I'm going to finish writing that here in a little bit. So it'll be fun. What about you? What are you preaching on this week?
I'm taking the Joel 2 text and talking about dreams, and I'm going to put it in parallel to Charlie Brown and his dreaming of being a better person. In the Peanuts movie, which is the movie that we happened to see together. He has this whole dream of being a better person, being the guy that gets the girl, being the smart student person kind of thing, and what it took him to really achieve his goal without really having to achieve his goal. And I'm gonna talk about dreams and the dreams that we have for our congregation as we move forward into this new season of life of fall, and really ask the question, what are dreams? Because I think we've laid such great foundation work for work, and now the question is, so where do we want to go now? I'm in year 3, and so it's kind of like, what do we want to do now? We've done all this stuff. What do you guys want to do? And then figuring out, kind of discerning what it would take to live out those dreams in our congregation, in our lives. So
nice. That's something we're doing in my small church. Is I'm encouraging them to dream big. Dream. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want to do, where you want to go, what you want to see, and then let's work on how to get there together. No, that's good. I like that. I like that. And you're using Joel. That's a good place to go.
You could do the Spice Girls. Tell them what you want, what you really, really want.
Yeah, they don't need me singing in church. That's never good. That would be funny though. Maybe I'm gonna have the choir do that as an anthem. That would be fun. When we kind of institute some of this stuff that we're dreaming about. Do my choir anthem.
No, you need to do Bohemian Rhapsody.
Ooh, that'd be fun too. My congregation might get that reference though. They'd be lost on the Spice Girls. That's funny.
How about let's talk about that? How about today we talk about dreams? And we talk about
I'm down for dreams.
Maybe what our dreams are and how we view dreams and all that good stuff. So how does that sound?
That sounds good. I mean, do we want to talk about it in the sense of what we're dreaming for in ministry and kind of where we see our calling going, or just how do we want to take it? What direction? Do we want to talk about our current situations or current appointments or current life applications and dreams?
Why don't we talk about the importance of dreams and talk about how it's important to dream and then important to discern. Is this just like a bad taco night, or is it something that God is calling you to do? And I think we can actually tie into what you're doing with Jonah and what I'm doing.
Bad taco night. Yeah, no, I like that. Taco night.
So,
see, if our first sponsor, not sponsor, was Taco Bell today, that'd be even better.
Well, we decided last week and that it was going to be well, it can be whatever we want because it's a sponsor, not sponsor. So, if Taco Bell,
but we already threw Cooksberry out there. We got to do them justice.
Well, we did. We mentioned it twice now, or 3 times, and so we can shift the focus. Maybe Taco Bell could be our second not sponsor for the week.
If we say Cokesbury more than 3 times in a Beardcast, do we get a book deal?
I don't know. Or does the ghost of John Wesley appear from behind you and murder you if you say Cokesbury?
Maybe. That's terrifying. Thank you for that. I will not be sleeping later, and I'm in a different place. So.
All right, so I'll let you do the introduction, and then we'll go from there.
All right, we'll do 3, 2. Welcome to the Bearded Theologians podcast. I'm Zach Bechtold.
And I'm Matt Franks.
And we're glad that you're joining us today, listening in, watching, whatever format you're viewing us or listening to us from. We appreciate your attendance. Today we're going to talk about dreams and the importance of dreams and why it's important to dream and how that kind of works into our day-to-day lives and long-term plans and goals and even our calling with God. So. Franks, I want to start out and just ask you simply, what are you dreaming about today? What do you got going on?
I'm dreaming that the coffee that I'm taking actually propels me to make it through the day because I'm not feeling the day. It's been a little rough. I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and it's not just because I'm preaching on it on Sunday, but I've been thinking about what dreams are, but not only what they are, but where I'm dreaming and scheming in my life and ministry. I feel the call like our church is called to do what the dream is there. And I've been listening a little bit intently to kind of the Spirit and seeing where the Spirit is leading me. But and I think that has kind of laid the groundwork for some of the dreams that this congregation has had. But I think for me, dream is kind of one of those things that it's something that kind of guides me in what I do and what I feel God leading me to do. I've had several vivid dreams in my life that were exactly what I needed to be doing. And one of those was in mind when I was in Yukon. We were building a new office, remodeling rooms to be a whole office suite. And one night I had this dream that I wasn't going to get to see that promised land. My office at the time was in a closet far away from everybody. I didn't feel like connected to the church or the staff. And and I just had this dream one night that I wouldn't get to see the new office and the promised land. And sure enough, about a week later, I ended up resigning and leaving. I just felt called that it was time for me to leave. And it was kind of crazy how that dream kind of played out. But and I've had a lot of other vivid dreams like that. Although there's been dreams that I've never been able to live into. I'm obviously now at 34. I'm never going to be able to play second base for the St. Louis Cardinals. And it's taken me about 18 years to kind of reconcile that with me and that reality that I just can't do it. And I think this softball season has proven that my body would not be able to handle the grind of 162 games. And, that's something that sometimes dreams, we have to let them go. And just recognizing that this is not something we are called to do, not something we can live into, but it's something that was a great idea, but it's just not something that's going to become reality. And I think sometimes we hang on to dreams too long, and they become more of an anchor and keeping us from really being growing into the person that God has called us to be. So, Zach, how do you perceive dreams, or what is this conversation leading you to?
Well, when I think about dreams, you're right. They tend to, if we hold on to them too long, they anchor us down. You kind of have that midlife crisis, or we see people have those midlife crises, and they all are anchored around a dream they had when they were younger. That anymore at that age isn't physically possible. And we've seen it in the church a lot too. We have this dream to have young people, or big children's ministries, or big youth groups, or just a big or whatever, and we get so anchored in that we have to go get young people, we have to go get this, we have to do this, and we get anchored in that, and we miss all the other people that are coming through our doors. We miss all of the other opportunities, and seen it time and time again. Just those ideas and those dreams that were once really big, good dreams become an anchor, and the church slowly dwindles or slowly goes a different direction. And the church can't keep up, and they get to a point where it's like, oh no, now what do we do? Well, now the dream is just to go get people. Let's go get all people, and move forward in that direction. For me personally, I don't dream much, and when I do dream, they're weird. They don't make any sense. I need a Joseph in my life that can tell me what my dreams mean. They're just that type of dream. It's and you're like, what? Did I have a bad taco night? What was this? And so I've not had, I really haven't had that same experience that you've had of having a dream and it meaning something, in that sense. But I didn't lay in bed at night dreaming to be a pastor. I really didn't. That wasn't a dream that I had, but it's certainly a dream that I have now, and to be the best pastor that I can be to the congregation that I currently serve, and the congregations that I'll serve in the future, wherever and whatever they may be. And so that's kind of my dream as we move forward as a family and as pastors, just to be able to live into that calling wherever God sends me.
Yeah, and I think that's been where I've been. That my dream, even though like my very first dream was to be a second baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals. I stood up and told my first grade teacher that. And boldly and believed that that's what it was going to be. But I've noticed that the more I live into the dream that God has called me into, just like you, I didn't dream I was ever going to be a pastor. That wasn't even anywhere on my radar. But I think that for me, the one thing that my dream has been is to be faithful in whatever it is I do, and to strive to be the best that I can be and give it my all. And that comes out of my initial dream of being a baseball player, because I knew what it took to be a professional baseball player. I knew the dedication and the sacrifice it would take. And as that dream over time began to shift and manifestate into maybe being into a coach or going into sports medicine or being a band director, as the dream kind of shifted and changed, some of those characteristics from that initial dream carried through. And it's been the same thing with the church. My dream for the church is for it to be better. My dream and hope for the church is that we live in a time of reformation and a time that in 200 years they're going to be talking about this time in church history books. And how do we want to be a part of that? Do we want to be on the side that actually stood up and strived to be disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world? Or are we just going to give up and then it fades away into the vast darkness of non-existence? And I don't want to give up. And my dream is that on my dying day, when I take my last breath, that I know I've made a difference for the kingdom of God in this reality. And that's a dream that I have. And how that gets played out is that in every congregation, they're going to get my best, regardless of how I feel or what kind of day it is. Take a straw and suck it up, no matter if I'm not at 100%, and just give my all for God, because that's, God has called me into this, and I'm trying to be as faithful as I can be.
And that's the thing. We've touched a little bit on what it, how dreams can anchor us down, and that dreams can change. You talked about being, I want to be a second baseman for the Cardinals. I wanted to play catcher for the Rockies. Just wasn't going to happen. Wasn't going to happen for me. That wasn't my skill set. I couldn't play catcher in Little League. And but so, like you say, that those dreams begin to shift. Mine going into college was to be a teacher. And then a semester in the education department, I realized being a teacher in a public school system was not for me. It had been my dream for a while to go to school, be a teacher, and teach kids, and I just didn't work out. And so I moved to being a business major, something I was comfortable with, something I grew up with and really enjoyed, and finished in that. And for a while, my dream was to run a business or own a business. I didn't have a specific dream in that area other than I wanted to be in business. I wanted to run something productively and successfully, and then get this call to ministry and teaching. I'm running the business into things, and so it's funny how God uses those dreams and begins to shift and change them. And had I not been willing to change and see kind of where God was pulling and calling me, I don't know where I'd be. I don't know if I'd be stuck in a job that I hate, because I certainly don't hate this. I love it. I love going into work every day. It's got its days where it's rough. Maybe we're not feeling it, like you said earlier, but my job is to be there and give 100%, if not more than that. And that's what people are going to get from me, because I know this is my calling, and my dream is to, like you say, leave it better than when you got it. And I want to leave the church in a better place, wherever I am and whatever that is. And so I think the big thing on dreams is just not getting stuck in one, not getting so anchored in that one dream that we can't see the rest of the world around us. We can't see how it's evolving and changing. Instead, we live into that dream in where it can go next, how that dream grows or changes over time.
Well, and I think that's where we got to be open to the Spirit. And while, the initial calling may have been one thing, to really move into be open to say, okay, so this was only temporal, and recognizing that this is leading us into this. That's something, as I look back on my life, I can definitely see the prevenient grace that God has given me throughout all of my life. And now looking back on it, I can see how these decisions, when I was being faithful and paying attention to where God was calling me, led me down this awesome path. And, it's hard to forecast that. That's not something we can forecast, because, I mean, I know I don't have that gift, but I think in order for us to live into our dreams, we have to recognize where we feel God leading us, and then where we feel that maybe we're trying to take too much control. And I'll give a good example of this. When I was at McFarland, I was only there for a year, and when I was approached about taking another appointment somewhere else, I was a little bit struggled, because I was in my dream job. I was getting to do missions, young adult ministries, and outreach ministries. And I mean, that's my wheelhouse. That's something I'm great at. That's my dream job. And, but I sensed that I wasn't living into my calling, and I needed to go live out my calling. And with doing that, that opened up the door to a whole bunch of other things that I've now gotten to enjoy. And I've enjoyed being back as the lead pastor again, and loved my time at McFarland. I really did. I loved the 365 days I served at McFarland and gave it my all. But I recognized that there was a difference between a call and a job. And not that you can't be happy in a job, but it's hard to be fulfilled when you live into a job. And I felt that I wasn't living into the dreams that I've had of being a faithful pastor and striving to bring change to the kingdom and make it a better place. And so, when I recognized that, it was time for me to let go of myself and allow God to take back control and to be open to where God has led me. Starting year 3 here, and I'm loving every bit of it. And so it's been kind of it's a whirlwind, and thinking of Jonah, you're preaching on that on Sunday. If Jonah would have let go of himself, he wouldn't have had to experience a well of a tale, so to speak. And I think that that's the problem with the church, that we have refused to let go of our idea and ourselves, and not let God be in control and allow God to lead us where we're called to be, and to be faithful and to grow. And I think that that's where we have found ourselves stuck. We have stopped dreaming, and we've stopped imagining what it can be like if we live into where God is calling us. And so, as we bring this conversation to a close, I want us to think about how we can live into our dreams, but also recognizing when they're just for us, and how God is speaking to us. And that may be as simple as maybe having a well experience, or it may be as simple as just listening to someone like a prophet to speak truth and if someone's telling you, hey, you really should be doing this, it may be something you should really do. And I know that that's something, I prayerfully that you would consider, is that how often are you letting yourself overcome where God is calling you? And so I'll turn it over to Zach right now.
And that's the thing. You mentioned Jonah for a minute, and we know Jonah's story for the most part. Hears God's call, doesn't want to go, and takes a boat the different direction, the complete opposite way. And we do that sometimes, or we do that a lot, really. If I kind of feel like if God's call isn't making you uncomfortable, maybe you need to listen a little bit more, because God's going to call us to really uncomfortable places. He's going to call us to really comfortable places too, but that's how we can see where God's pushing us in those kinds of things when we're just a little bit uncomfortable, like, I don't know, but it's through that listening, through that being faithful, that we go. And sometimes, not sometimes, I think the part that we look over in that first chapter of Jonah that's a really important part is when Jonah, when he just succumbs to that call, okay, it's me, I'll go. He doesn't jump over the side of the boat by himself. He tells the guys on the boat, pick me up and throw me over. He still wasn't willing to commit to it himself. He had to have a push. He had to have a nudge. And so, like Frank said, listen to those prophets in your life. Listen to those people who are urging you or affirming your call of go. Maybe you need to do this, or look at this. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for a pastor I worked with a few years ago in East Texas to call me into his office and say, hey, this youth pastor thing's good, but you're called to something more. I'd never thought of it beyond that. I had, but I hadn't really, it scared me. And it took him pushing me in that direction, having that conversation, saying, look, you're called to something bigger. We got to listen to those things. And that's when those dreams begin to shape and shift into different directions, or in the direction that God's calling us.
To kind of bring it to a close, and I'll do that just now. Walt Disney says, if you can dream it, you can do it. I have that quote on my wall, and it's something that I'm always reminded every day, that if I feel called to this, and that this is a dream, and this is something I can do and achieve. And so I want to encourage you to be faithful. I want to encourage you to listen to your dreams and where God is leading you. And so as we continue that conversation, feel free to post on our Facebook or our blog, or on the YouTube page. Let's open this conversation up, and be glad to to converse in that and see where this leads us. We'd also like to remind you that we have some awesome Bearded Theologians gear. Zach's got on his awesome Bearded Theologians t-shirt that you can buy at our Zazzle site.
Check it out on our website right here. You can get it in any color.
We also have some t-shirts and hoodies on Teespring that are really awesome. And I'm sure that when we go to World Methodist Conference, we'll be wearing at least both those shirts at least once or twice, maybe 4 times, depending on our luggage situation. Or we have some sweet coffee mugs. I mean, I love my Bearded Theologian coffee mugs. I know the winners of our Bearded Theologians meme competitions love their Bearded Theologians mugs. But we just want to encourage you to keep the conversation going, and may God bless you and keep you on this day. This is the Bearded Theologians signing off. I'm Matt Franks.
I'm Zach Bechtold.
And we'll see you next time.